Hello everyone. Let's study the floral formulae and floral diagrams from chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. So, before we dive into all the formulae and diagrams, let's quickly revise the symbols which we use to represent the different words. So, if a flower has bracts, then the condition is bracteate. Here we use the symbol BR to represent it. Next, if bracts are absent, then the flower is ebracteate. For this, we use the symbol EBR. Next, we have symmetry. Depending on the symmetry of the flower, whether it is radial, that is actinomorphic, or bilateral, that is zygomorphic, we use these symbols. Next, if the flowers are bisexual, that means the flowers have both androecium as well as gynoecium, then we use this particular symbol. But if the flowers are unisexual, that is separate male and separate female flowers, then we use these symbols to represent the separate flowers. Now, let's see the next set of symbols. So, if epicalyx is present, like we will study in the Malvaceae family, outside the calyx, we have another whorl, that is epicalyx, which are modified bracteoles. So, if epicalyx is present, then we represent it by the symbol epi. Now, the main whorls of the flower, that is calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, right? How do we represent this? Let's see. So, calyx is represented by the letter K. Now, the sepals which are present in calyx, right? Calyx is the entire whorl. The individual units in the calyx are sepals. The sepals may be free or fused. If the sepals are free, we use the term polysepalous, and if they are fused, then we use gamosepalous. Now, how to represent both these conditions? So, let's say if we have any flower in which the calyx has 5 sepals. If they are free, then we will simply write K5 like this. But if the sepals are fused, then we will put a bracket over the number. Okay. So, as you can see, N is the number, right? Number of sepals. So, Kn means the sepals are free, and Kn and N is in the bracket. That means the sepals are fused. Let's see the next symbol. Corolla is represented by the letter C. Its basic unit is petal. So, simple. If petals are free, that is polypetalous, we write it like this, Cn. And if the petals are fused, then we put a bracket around the number. Okay. And the condition is gamopetalous. Now, in some plants, right, in some flowers, we will see that the calyx and corolla are not distinguishable, like in the Liliaceae family. In lily flowers, you cannot distinguish between the calyx and corolla. So, here we use the term perianth and the symbol is P. The basic unit of perianth is a tepal, and hence if the number of tepals are, let's say, 6, then we will write the number 6 over here depending on its arrangement. So, P is perianth, and the number of units in perianth, that is the number of tepals, will be represented here instead of N. So, this is polyphylous or polytepalous. That means the tepals are free. But what if the tepals are fused? Gamophylous or gamotepalous condition. Then obviously we will put a bracket over here. Right? Next, we have androecium, that is the male reproductive whorl. It is represented by the letter A. Right? We have A. Now, the stamens are basic unit of androecium, right? The stamen has anther in which the pollen grains are produced. Hence, it is the male reproductive whorl. Now, androecium, which is represented by the letter A. Stamens are the basic unit in it. Stamens can be free or fused. So, same rule applies here. The number of stamens are represented here by the letter N. So, let's say if a family has 5 stamens, then we will write A5. If they are free, then the condition is polyandrous. But if they show cohesion, means there is a fusion in stamens, then we will put a bracket surrounding the number. So that cohesion can be of any type. Maybe if only the filaments are fused, that is adelphi, or maybe the anthers are only fused, then it will be syngeny. And if the filaments and anther, right, there is throughout fusion of all the stamens, then it will be called as synandrous condition. So whatever may be the type of fusion within the stamens, it is cohesion. And if there is any fusion in the stamens within themselves, then it will be cohesion, and we will put a bracket in the symbol. Gynoecium is represented by the letter G. It is the female reproductive wall of the flower. Here also the basic unit will be carpel or pistil. If the carpels are free, then the condition is apocarpus. So G and the number of carpels will be mentioned here. There is no bracket. That means free carpels, apocarpus. But what if the carpels are fused? Syncarpus condition. So we have given a bracket over here. Now, depending on the position of the ovary and the other whorls, we have different types of flowers and different types of ovaries. So, in a hypogynous flower, we have superior ovary. If we have superior ovary, then the symbol is gynoecium G and underline. Okay. And if we have inferior ovary, as in epigynous flowers, then we will write G, that is gynoecium, and a line above it. This will represent inferior ovary. And if we have half inferior ovary, like in the perigynous flower, then we will write G, that is gynoecium, and a line after it, right? This is how we represent the different types of ovaries. Another important term here, that is adhesion. Adhesion means wherein members of a whorl are fused with members of other whorl. For example, the stamens in androecium are fused or united with the petals of corolla. This condition is called epipetalous, as we can see in families like Solanaceae, right? The stamens are fused with petals. So, we show the epipetalous condition using this symbol. We draw an arc joining the A and C, that is androecium and corolla. You can also simply write an arrow like this. Okay, it can be like this also. Okay, or without the arrow sign, simply an arc. Next, we have another type of adhesion wherein, let's say a flower has perianth. Okay, it has perianth. So its basic unit will be tepal, and the stamens are united with the tepals, that is the perianth. So this is also fusion between different whorls. So this is epiphylous condition or epitepalous, and it is represented like this. We have the stamens united with the perianth, okay, or the tepals. Now, let's start with the first family, that is Fabaceae, which is also called Papilionaceae or simply the legume family. This includes all the important pulses, right? Let's see the floral formula and the floral diagram. So, we start with the symmetry, as you can see here, right? We are having the symmetry. As we have percentage sign, that means it is zygomorphic symmetry. Now, why zygomorphic symmetry? If you look at this diagram, right, this floral diagram is showing you the different whorls, how the members are arranged in the floral bud. So, this is basically the architecture of the flower. You can divide this flower into two equal halves only in this one particular plane, right, like this. If you cut flower like this, then the halves are not equal. But if you cut it like this, right, vertically like this, then you have equal halves. Like you can see an example over here. This is a flower from Fabaceae. So if you cut it like this, then only you will get equal halves. Otherwise, you will not get equal halves. So that is why zygomorphic symmetry, right? Next, it has bisexual flowers because it has both androecium as well as gynoecium in the same flower. Okay, now let's start with the whorls. So as you can see here, we have K, that is calyx, 5, that means there are 5 sepals, and there is a bracket, that means the sepals are united, they are fused. Next, we have corolla, that means it will have petals. There are a total 5 petals, As you can see here, this is the largest petal over here. This is called the standard and it is the outermost. So this is 1 plus 2, that is these two wings, and then we have a small boat shaped like two fused petals. This is this one, 2 and a bracket, because those two small petals are fused to form a boat shaped structure, hence it is called keel. Due to the characteristic arrangement of the petals, right? Yes, actually if you compare it with the types of estivation, you must have understood that this C 1 plus 2 plus 2 and these last two petals, the keel, right? Those two petals are fused. This is vexillary estivation. This is vexillary estivation, right? So the petals basically show vexillary estivation. The sepals may show valvate or imbricate estivation, depends on the species. But a very important character of Fabaceae is that the petals, the corolla will show vexillary estivation, right? So that is why we have represented it like this. Next, we have androecium. Now, there are total 10 stamens, but 9 of them are clustered together. As you can see here, 9 stamens, they are united. The filaments are fused. Okay, so this is adelphic. Okay, and one, the posterior one is separate. Okay, so 9 plus 1 arrangement is present. There are 2 bundles, hence the diadelphous condition. What is the condition? Diadelphous. Okay, 2 bundles, diadelphous, like classic example of Fabaceae, which is also mentioned in the NCERT, that is pea plant. Next, we have gynoecium. So, underline is there, that means superior ovary, and we have mentioned 1, that means there is only one carpel, monocarpellary condition, right? This over here, which will always be there above every floral diagram, this is the mother axis. What is this? The mother axis. This basically shows how this flower was attached to the main plant body, right? That means this particular side of the flower is facing the plant and this particular side of the flower is facing you. This is the anterior side. So that single stamen over here is actually posterior and these 9 fused are anterior, right? The standard petal over here, this large petal, right? This one, this is posterior and keel will be anterior, surrounded or like covered by the 2 lateral wings and then the standard. So this is the floral formula and this is the floral diagram of Fabaceae. Okay. Next, we have Solanaceae family, that is potato family, right? So this will include some of the common plants which we all know, potato, tomato, brinjal, right? Let's see the formula. So first the symmetry, actinomorphic symmetry, right? Because if you look at this architecture of the flower, right, you have multiple planes possible using which you can divide the flower into 2 equal halves. So actinomorphic symmetry. Next, we have both androecium as well as gynoecium, that means bisexual flowers. Next, calyx, there are 5 sepals which are fused. Corolla, there are 5 petals which are fused. Androecium, there are 5 stamens, but they are free, hence there is no bracket, right? But we can see there is a line, there is an arc which is joining the androecium and corolla, right? That means there is adhesion, there is epipetalous condition. What is this? Epipetalous condition. Okay, epipetalous condition showing the union or like joining of the stamens and the petals. Okay, this is adhesion. Now the last whorl, the innermost whorl of the flower, that is gynoecium. Underline is given, that means superior ovary. Next we have 2, that means bicarpellary condition. There are 2 carpels in the gynoecium and as there is a bracket, that means both the carpels are fused, right? You can see here there is oblique septa over here, right? Oblique arrangement of the ovary. These are the 5 anthers over here, that means 5 stamens, these, but they are not connected to each other. But as you can see, these lines, right? These lines means the epipetalous condition. Correct? right? Also, as you can see in the center, there is swollen placenta, which is another important character of Solanaceae family. Okay, let's see the next family, that is Liliaceae, simply the lily family, right? Let's see the formula. So Br is mentioned. Br, that means this is bracteate flower, right? Bract will be present. Next, symmetry, actinomorphic, flowers are bisexual, and here we have mentioned P. That means the calyx and corolla are not distinguishable. So we use the term perianth, right? Now, if you look at this particular floral diagram over here, this is the mother axis on top, right? And these are the tepals. That means this is representing the perianth. These six are the stamens, and this innermost wall is the gynoecium. So this is representing the carpels. So look at this formula. Perianth, 3 outer and 3 inner tepals, right? So 3 plus 3, and they are connected, and hence the whole bracket. Next, we have these 6 stamens, right? But they are connected to the tepals, like 3 of them are connected to the outer tepals and 3 of them are connected to the inner tepals. So A, 3 plus 3, there is no fusion in between the stamens, but there is fusion of stamens with the tepals or the perianth, and hence this is another important character of Liliaceae, that is epiphyllous or epitepalous condition. Epiphyllous or epitepalous condition. Last, we have the gynoecium. Now here we should have an underline. Okay, in the textbook it's missing, but make sure you note it. G underline. Okay, that means we have superior ovary. 3 means tricarpellary. There are 3 carpels, and bracket means fusion, right? The 3 carpels are fused. That is why you can see the 3 compartments. Trilocular ovary. 3 compartments, because we actually had 3 carpels, so 3 separate ovaries, but they are fused. And such an arrangement is seen. There are 2 ovules per compartment over here, right? Let's see the next. We have some extra families also in our syllabus. Now the floral formula and diagram of this family, Brassicaceae, that is cruciferae, commonly called as mustard family, right? The diagram and formula are given in the textbook, but we do have some extra families as per the NEET syllabus, that is Malvaceae, Asteraceae, that is Compositae, and Graminae, that is Poaceae. So we will quickly go through the formula and the diagrams of the extra families also. So now let's focus on this family, Brassicaceae, that is cruciferae, right? Commonly known as the mustard family. Let's see the formula. We have symmetry first, right? So actinomorphic symmetry, right? Look at this diagram. If you cut this flower like this, you have 2 equal halves. If you cut it like this, you still have 2 equal halves. That means actinomorphic symmetry. There is more than one plane, right, to divide the flower equally. So actinomorphic. Bisexual flowers, because androecium and gynoecium both are present. Now, what about calyx? As you can see here, these 2 are outer sepals and these 2 are inner sepals, and hence we have mentioned it like this, K2 plus 2. But there is no fusion and hence no bracket. Next, we have the corolla, C4. 4 means there are 4 petals. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and they are present like a cross, right? As you can see here also, these petals, yellow petals, these are like cross arrangement, like this, here and these, right? Total 4, and hence the name cruciferae. Okay, there is no bracket here, that means there is no fusion, right? Gamopetalous और polypetalous, क्या सही होगा इसमें से, गैमो होगा या पॉली होगा? अब यहाँ पे ब्रैकेट नहीं है, right? There is no bracket. That means polypetalous condition, right? क्या होगा ये? Polypetalous. See here, there is no bracket over here. So polysepalous, polypetalous. See here, androecium. A2 plus 4 is mentioned. What is mentioned? A2 plus 4. Now look at the arrangement of the stamens. Okay. Look at these anthers. Total we have 6. But they are arranged in a typical manner which is like a characteristic feature of cruciferae. See here. These two are outer. Okay. And these are short in height. And these 4 which are inner. Right. These are actually longer. This particular condition is known as tetradynamous condition. Tetradynamous condition. Okay, a very important character of Brassicaceae, that is cruciferae. Okay, tetradynamous condition. There are total 6 stamens. The 2 outer ones are short and the 4 inner ones are longer. Okay, this characteristic arrangement A2 plus 4. We always go from outside to inside. That is why we have mentioned 2 plus 4. Okay, so A2 plus 4. This is characteristic feature. Okay, tetradynamous condition. What about gynoecium? Here we do have fusion, as we can see the bracket. So gynoecium, it has 2 carpels and both are fused. Okay. Here underline means superior ovary. Okay. Next family. So Malvaceae, that is mallow family, also called cotton family. The classic example which you can remember is China rose. Okay, hibiscus. Okay, if you have to remember all the characters of this family, like the floral characters, the best thing which you can imagine is China rose. You can easily relate. This is a very common flowering plant. Most of you must have seen these flowers, right? So you can easily correlate all the characters. So here bracts are present. Okay, so at the base of the pedicel you have like green leafy structures. Those are bracts. Okay, so bracteate condition. Actinomorphic symmetry, bisexual flowers because both androecium and gynoecium present. Next we have the epicalyx, right? Epicalyx. See here. This is the calyx. See here. This is the calyx. Okay. These red color ones are the petals. So corolla. This green thing is the calyx. All the sepals are united. And now see this. You see these structures which are outside the calyx. Right? This wall is outside the calyx and hence it is called epicalyx. What is this? Epicalyx. So the number of units in epicalyx range from 3 to 7. Next we have the calyx represented by K. So 5, that means there are 5 sepals, right? Next they are fused, so bracket is given. Next we have corolla, right? 5 petals are present. Next we have androecium. Now if you look at this flower, right? These structures over here, as you can see, these are many, too many to count. Okay, these are the stamens. These yellow structures are actually the anthers in the stamen. You can see that in all the stamens, the filaments are fused to form a hollow tube-like structure, and these anthers are free. Okay, and all the stamens are united together to form one bundle. This is one bundle. So monoadelphous condition, a very important character of this family. Monoadelphous condition. These 3 things here, yellow structures, these are the anthers. But all the filaments are actually fused. Okay, you have many filaments, all are fused to form a cylinder like this, hollow cylinder. And in that hollow tube, you will have the innermost wall, which is gynoecium. Okay, can you count these anthers easily? No. So there are numerous anthers, numerous stamens, and hence we represent it like this. You can see the infinity sign over here, right? A infinity, and there is a bracket because monoadelphous condition, there is fusion. Okay. What about this? The stamens in androecium are united with the petals of corolla. So this is epicalyx. epipetalous condition. What is this? Epipetalous condition. Next, we have gynoecium. Typically, in gynoecium, we have 5 carpels, so pentacarpellary condition, or you can call it multicarpellary. Depending on the species, it will be variable. So 5 to infinity, but typically 5. Okay, so we can simply write G5, and 5 should be in the bracket because all those 5 carpels will be fused. The ovary is fused. Only the stigmas at the top will be free. So incompletely syncarpous condition. Okay. The ovary, the styles, these are fused. But the stigmas are free. Okay. And the stigmas will easily capture the pollens. Okay. So this is basically the floral formula. This is the diagram. As you can see, all the whorls represented. We have the mother axis, we have the epicalyx. Over here, we have the epicalyx, then we have the calyx, right? United, so fusion is shown. Then we have the petals. Now see the arrangement of petals, these, right? We have twisted estivation. How are the petals arranged? Twisted fashion, right? These are the anthers, so there are numerous stamens. What are these lines? These lines represent the epipetalous condition, and in the center you can see the gynoecium, right? 5 compartments because actually there were 5 different ovaries, but all those were fused. So you have 5 compartments now in the fused ovary. Okay, and here outermost we have the bract. Okay, so this is the Malvaceae family. Some of the most important like commercially important fibers are obtained from this family. Like from the name itself, you must have understood cotton, right? Cotton is commercially very important and it belongs to Malvaceae. Okay. Another important feature which you can add in your notes is this family is characterized by presence of mucilage, sticky slimy substance in different parts, like even the floral parts. That is why if you simply separate the different whorls of hibiscus, you will see there is some sticky substance, right? This is a characteristic feature. Another example, classic example, which will be very helpful for you to imagine and understand how the 5 compartments are present. Okay, how these 5 compartments are present. That is bhindi, okra, right? When you cut okra, that is bhindi, you see the 5 compartments and the exile placentation, such arrangement, right? So remember okra, that is lady's finger, cotton, China rose, these are like common examples of Malvaceae. Next, we have Asteraceae, that is Compositae or sunflower family. This is the largest family. This is largest family of flowering plants. Okay, very important. Now, when we try to understand the floral formula and the diagrams of Asteraceae, that is sunflower family. Okay, first we need to understand how the sunflower, okay, all the florets in this family are actually arranged. Okay, so sunflower which we see is not actually a single flower, right? It is itself an inflorescence, cluster of hundreds of flowers. Okay, the sunflower is not a single flower. This is cluster of many tiny flowers, that is florets. So there is a type of floret, that is type of flower, which is arranged like this. Okay, at the peripherion. Here, periphery. These are ray florets. And the central large disc which you see here, here the florets whichever are present, these are called disc florets. Okay, very easy. The peripheral ones, this border will be ray florets, and the center entire brown thing is disc florets. Okay, see here, ray florets. So this will be the exposed part, as you see here, the large corolla, right? Actually, these are not like single petals, but this is itself 5 petals fused together to form a corolla. Okay, so this thing will be arranged like this in periphery, and these small florets, disc florets, are present in the center. That means sunflower is an inflorescence, cluster of flowers. Okay, cluster of many flowers. Here you can see a section also, right? So peripheral, you will have the ray florets, and in the center, you have this disc florets. Okay, so let's see the floral formula and the floral diagram of each type of floret. So first we have the ray florets, that is the peripheral ones. Bracts are present, so bracteate. Here the symmetry is zygomorphic, hence percentage sign. Next, female flowers, right? So far we have seen so many formulae, but all had the bisexual flowers. This is the first one where we have unisexual flowers and specifically the female flowers. Okay, so see this now. Okay, this is the diagram of ray floret. Okay, we have the bract, we have this calyx. Now, in this case, Asteraceae, the calyx can be like thin membranous or it can be hairy. The calyx is not green here, but it is modified into hair-like structures, which helps in easy dispersal of the fruits and seeds. Okay, so with the wind, easily the fruits and seeds will be carried, and the movement will be facilitated because of the hairy structures. Okay, so the calyx is hairy. It is called pappus. It is a characteristic feature of Asteraceae. Okay, the calyx, hairy calyx, is called pappus. Okay, next we have these the 5 petals. Okay, can you see any stamens over here? No, there are no stamens, no anthers. Directly we have drawn the gynoecium. That means this is a female flower, right? So we have used the symbol here, female. Next, KP. P means pappus is present. Okay, hairy calyx is present. Next, we have C, that is corolla. There are 5 petals. Bracket is given, that means these are fused. Next, androecium is absent. See, if the flowers are female, that means the male structures will be absent. So, A, 0. Next, we have gynoecium. What can you see here? Gynoecium, and it has a line above it, right? That means what type of ovary is this? Inferior ovary. And we have also studied in NCRT, right? Examples of inferior ovary, ray florets of sunflower. Rather, both ray and disc florets of sunflower have inferior ovary. So, another important character. Now, G2, that means bicarpellary condition, and bracket means those are fused. Okay. Now, the disc floret, that means the central large brown color disc, it also has many tiny flowers actually. Okay, if you closely observe, you will be able to understand it. Disc floret, so here also bracts present. Actinomorphic symmetry, like see the floral diagram over here, right? There are multiple planes in which you can divide this flower into equal halves, right? 2 equal halves, and hence actinomorphic symmetry. Bisexual, KP means pappus is present. C5 and bracket, that means 5 petals, and those are fused. Androecium. Now, in case of disc florets, we do have androecium. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 stamens, right? So, these are the 5 stamens. These stamens are fused within themselves. But there is a speciality over here. The fusion is such that anthers are united but filaments are free. Okay. In androecium, there are 5 stamens. We are talking about disc florets. Okay. There are 5 stamens. All the 5 stamens show fusion. But how? Anthers are fused but filaments are free. So this special condition is syngeny. What is this? Syngeny. Anthers are fused but filaments are free. Okay. Next, what can you see here? The stamens of androecium are united with the petals in corolla. That means this is the epipetalous condition, right? What is this? Epipetalous condition. Okay. Next, inferior ovary in gynoecium. 2 means bicarpellary and bracket means fused. Now, some of the ray florets may be sterile. Now, sterile means they don't have any of the reproductive whorls, right? Normally, we have seen ray florets do not have androecium, but imagine if there is no androecium and also there is no gynoecium, so no reproductive whorl, only the accessory whorls, right? So this will be sterile ray florets. These florets will not contribute in the reproduction as the reproductive whorls are absent. Okay, hence simply take the ray floret formula. Now instead of this you can write percentage also, because there is zygomorphic symmetry. We have seen earlier that we can use percentage and this symbol also for bilateral, that is zygomorphic symmetry. So bracteate, zygomorphic, pappus, 5 petals fused, and reproductive whorls are absent. So this is about the Asteraceae, that is Compositae, commonly known as sunflower family. It shows such a type of inflorescence, right? So basically you have this flattened receptacle, can you see here, on which all the tiny florets are attached. This type of inflorescence is called the head type of inflorescence. Head type of inflorescence or capitulum, okay, a very important character of Asteraceae. Okay, what actually binds or holds all the species belonging to this family together is the head type of inflorescence, that is capitulum. Last, we have Poaceae, that is Graminae, commonly known as grass family. This includes common members like rice, wheat, jawar, bajra, right? The cereal crops. Also sugarcane, bamboo, right? This is a monocot family. See, all the families which we are studying as per our NEET syllabus, you will see that only two families are monocot, Liliaceae and Graminae. Okay, all other families are dicot. Okay. So let's see the formula. So we have bract. Next we have the zygomorphic symmetry. You can see in the diagram also. If we cut the flower like this, then we have equal halves. Otherwise, we will not have equal halves. Okay. Here, bisexual flowers are present. Right. This is a typical formula. Bisexual flowers are present. P means perianth. So here also the calyx and corolla are not distinguishable. Hence we have written perianth. So typically we have two tepals. Sometimes we can have three. We have drawn the typical formula. You can see here these two, right? This and this. Anterolateral position, right? Anterolateral position of the tepals in perianth. These are called lodicules. Okay, see here. These membranous tepals are called lodicules. Okay. Next, we have androecium. So typically we have 3 stamens, or we can have in its multiple like 6. You can see here 1, 2, 3, right? And in the center we have gynoecium, either monocarpellary, that is G1, or tricarpellary, that is G3. If it is tricarpellary, then we will have fused carpels. Okay, underline is present to the G, that means superior ovary, right? A characteristic feature of this Graminae family is that the stigma is feathery. How is the stigma? Feathery, because wind pollination is common in this family. So to capture pollen grains, the stigma is feathery. Also, we have versatile anther. Okay, I will write all the important features. We have stigma, which is feathery. We have anthers, which are versatile. Versatile means like we have like long anthers like this, both the lobes, and there is a long filament attached to it at one common point. So these anthers can easily swing like a seesaw in wind. Okay, this facilitates easy wind pollination. Okay, so this is the floral formula and floral diagram of Poaceae. Okay, here the stamens and perianth are not showing any fusion. See, in Liliaceae we studied the epiphyllous condition, but here there is no epiphyllous condition. We simply have the perianth and the androecium, but there is no adhesion. Okay, so here we have completed all the important families, their floral formulae and the floral diagrams. Now it's time for knowledge drill. So based on all the characters which we have studied so far, okay, I've mentioned some characters. In the comment section, tell me these characters are actually describing which families. Okay, so what are the characters? Diadelphous condition, pappus, head inflorescence, epiphyllous condition, and tetradynamous condition. Okay, tell me in the comments, these characters actually explain features of which family. Okay, I hope this lecture was helpful for you. Thank you.